Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jocelyn. So today I wanted to do something different than the videos I've done. I wanted to do an everyday tutorial for, people who go to work on a daily basis and wake up at 6 a.m. and only have like 15 minutes to get ready, or just tips in makeup that are absolutely necessary. To an extent, I mean, everybody is going to think that something in their routine is absolutely necessary for them. But I think tips that actually make you look really awake, refreshed. It's not going to be super glam. It's going to be, you can do your makeup really quick and you can head to work, or you can do your makeup really quick and efficiently. That's going to make you look really awake, fresh, healthy, awake, fresh, healthy, awake. Not funny. More tips that are definitely not going to break the bank. Most of these products are drugstore. There are just a few that are a little bit higher end. I do feel like the products that are higher end that I'm going to use though are really great products and I really love them. These are just products that I really like. They work for me. I feel like this is a great tutorial because you can definitely use what you have of your own. You don't need to run out and go buy these things. If you do want to buy these things, I do recommend them though. They are mostly on the cheaper side. There is 4 to 5 things that are a little bit higher end. I will have everything linked in the description box. Prices, I'll try to link, sites that you can get them from. Most of them are really easy to find at like Ulta or something. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the video. To get you looking awake, but out the door in maybe under 20 minutes. I haven't really timed this out at all while I'm talking, so it's obviously gonna take me a little bit longer. So my first tip is to use a moisturizer. I'm going to be using the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. This is a really great moisturizer. It helps hydrate dry, parched skin and relieve minor irritations due to eczema or other conditions for the face and elsewhere. So I'm just going to have that in. Moisturizing your skin is very important. It is going to hydrate the skin and create a really smooth base. I'm just gonna pat it in because I don't like to rub my skin too much. Even if you're oily, you should still moisturize. You should still be drinking water. You should still be hydrating your skin. Basically, most of the time people are oily because their glands are producing more oil to basically make up for the lack of oil. So once again, even if you're oily, still moisturize. It is still important and it is going to give you a nice base. You can definitely change up this routine and throw in things that you like to do. So if you are oily, go ahead and use a primer. I just think that if you don't have a primer, it's not necessary for you to run out and get one. You can definitely use moisturizer instead. You don't need to have a $20 primer or a $10 primer. You can just use what you have. So basically that is the point of this video, is to be able to use the things you have but get the most efficient look from your product. I think a really important step that elevates the look of your makeup is color correction. A lot of people have really taken color correction and just like blown it out of proportion. Color correction is definitely for people who need it. As you see, I have a lot of redness. I would say for me, or if you have redness, color correct. Use a green, color correct, and it will diminish the redness, that when you go in with your foundation, you're not using a ton of layers. A green color corrector is really going to even the skin tone and give you a nice base to work with, other than trying to go in with, a ton of foundation and pack it on, when you could just color correct and do one layer of foundation. So I'm going to be taking the LA Girl Pro Conceal and Green Corrector. So what's really nice about these is they have a little like brush applicator. So I'm going to take that on the areas of my face that I am a little bit more red. So don't do too much. I'm just gonna do a little bit. Maybe, you can go over those blemishes. anywhere that you see like a red spot that you, an imperfection that you might not really like. So like around the nose, you can definitely go there. Maybe in the chin. All right, so just kind of like that. You don't have to go all over the face. You don't have to go too heavy. Oh, actually, I get really red like right around here. So I always have a problem covering this up. These areas right by the bottom of my cheeks. If you don't really have red cheeks or you don't really have redness, you know, and things like that, if it's just blemishes, I would say go ahead and skip this step. Not everybody needs to color correct. Color correcting, like I said, is great for people who really need it, and it really will take your makeup to the next level. If you don't need to color correct, that is even better. You can save even more time and you won't even need to do this step. You can move on to the next step. You're gonna wanna take a brush or a beauty blender. I'm gonna use a beauty blender. If you have a brush, go ahead and use your brush. You really wanna blend this out. You don't wanna leave too much on the skin because you just want a light cast. You're not trying to look like Shrek, basically. So you can see that it didn't necessarily cover the pimples, but you can see that the redness is definitely a little bit more faded, which is the goal. So LA Girl is a really great brand. It is super cheap and affordable. You can find it online or you can find it in stores. That way you do not have to purchase it online. I know I'm not a big online shopper, so I love that I can purchase it in stores now. Most Ultas carry it. Now when you feel like you've really got that blended out, the next step to color correcting is dark circles. So with the green, we canceled out the red. With a peachy orange, you're going to cancel out like the bluish purple, basically the dark circles. So when you look down, you're gonna see the dark circles right here. A light peachy shade like this is gonna be perfect for my skin tone, a fair complexion. A darker orange like this is going to be better for deeper. If you're my skin tone, it is not necessary that you go in with something like that. That's like a big thing, that a misconception that people have. Everyone on Instagram goes in with like the green and, you know, the super dark orange, but just a light peachy shade just to go in that little area. So I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna go right when I look down. You see that? When I look down, I'm just gonna go right in that area of when you look down and you see that bag. You don't need too much. So this is going to really cancel out the dark circle, make you look more awake, so that when you apply concealer, you don't have to use as much. So you can see when I look down now, the bags are not as prominent. Like I didn't wake up 10 minutes before I needed to walk out the door. So next, a really important step I think is necessary for a routine is to spot conceal. So after I color corrected with my green concealer in the spots that were a little bit red or blemishes and things like that, so the green is going to cancel out the redness, and then spot concealing is to take away the green hue and it's going to more cover the blemish. So I have my Instant Age Rewind by Maybelline in light. This is a little bit darker, if not the same color than my foundation. So I'm just gonna take that and go onto those areas and just more dab it in. You don't need to go heavy with this either, especially since if you've already color corrected. So I think that's it for the blemishes on my face. You can see it's not too dark, but it's a little bit darker than my actual complexion. So I'm just going to lightly blend those out, more around the edges, because you want to keep the coverage in the middle. I'm just going to lightly pat those out Like I said, mostly the edges. So you can see that a little bit more blended, but you might still be able to see it. Now that you have basically taken all the steps to really even out your skin tone, you don't have to do every single step. That's what's great about makeup, because it is up to you. You can go as heavy, as full coverage as you want, or very light, or not even wear makeup at all. This is not saying that you need to wear makeup to work. This is just for people who want a routine, who is more everyday, and you know, tips to enhance the makeup that they already do on a daily basis. So next up, I'm going to take my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. This is a medium coverage. It is a 24-hour foundation. It is also drugstore. It's about like maybe 8, 9, 10, no idea, like $10 maybe. It's definitely very affordable, not gonna break the bank, and it is a great foundation. They also make a Pro Matte one. I prefer the Pro Glow. So if you are more oily, I would say go with the Pro Matte. I think they are almost absolutely the same. They just have a different finish. So this is a great foundation. It's going to give your skin a little bit of dew, so you're gonna look more fresh face and awake. But if you like the matte look, go ahead and get the Pro Matte, and it's going to perform exactly the same. It is a long wear foundation, so if you work really long hours in the day, or you are going out all day running errands, it's going to be really great foundation for that. This is a medium coverage foundation. Why I picked a medium coverage instead of a full coverage is because we have already even the skin tone, concealed the blemishes, got rid of the redness. You could have stopped there. So I just picked a medium coverage foundation just for the people who want foundation or want a tip on the foundation. So I'm going to start applying that. It may be a little bit too dark for my skin tone, so don't try to clock me, because I have not rebought any foundation in a really long time. And I don't think any of mine actually match me. The foundation now is more for people who want more of a full coverage look without buying a full coverage foundation or the full coverage feel, because now that we have already basically concealed all the imperfections, almost, this is going to be more full coverage than it would be if you just tried to apply it without those steps. I've only done one pump, and so far that is pretty efficient to almost get the full face. I'm not trying to go super heavy, and this is actually only doing about one pump or so every time you do your makeup is going to give you the longest stretch of having it, or, you know, I don't know. You're gonna have it for longer than if you use more all the time, basically. So I'm not even gonna do, oh, and it's a squeezy tube, so it's not really a pump, so you can really control how much that you squeeze out. So I just did a little dot, versus then when there's a pump, so like one pump, so much is going to disperse in that pump, because that's what the pump is designed to do. So I'm just going to dot that onto my forehead. Once again, you can use a brush with this. A brush will actually give you better coverage than a beauty blender, because a beauty blender is soaking up the product. A synthetic brush is going to not soak the product into the brush. If you want more for your money out of your product, definitely use a synthetic brush. It is going to last you a lot longer than if you're using a beauty blender. And Morphe has really great brushes that are way cheaper than a $20 beauty blender. But if you like the smooth look that a beauty blender gives you, I would prefer the beauty blender, because it's going to give you a more natural finish, because it does soak up a lot of the product. Now, as you can see that I've done my foundation, I still have like a little blemish here. Instead of layering another layer of foundation, I'm going to take a little bit more of that darker concealer in light and just go over that area. Like that. On these sides, I'm going to leave this here for now just so it dries down a little bit more, so I can definitely get more coverage over that blemish. And then I'm just going to lightly pat out so you can see that completely covered the rest of the redness that was there without having to go back over with more foundation. So now that is set there a little bit, I'm going to start with the edges, really blending those out. So go ahead and blend out the edges with a brush. Now that I have laid down foundation and spot concealed, it is time to actually conceal the under eye. So I'm going to be taking the same Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, but in Fair. So this is going to be a shade or two lighter than your actual foundation. So on Instagram, it is very full coverage and a lot of concealer and a lot of foundation and a lot of this and that, which is fine because I do that kind of look. I love that look. I do both makeup, but it is not attainable for everybody. With the concealer, you're going to place it and you want to bring that out. So basically, when your circles are dark, they're looking sunken in. So when you contour your cheeks, they're gonna look sunken in. So while you conceal, it's going to look pushed forward, brighter, make your cheekbones look higher basically. So I'm gonna take that Fair and I'm just going to go basically right over. There's like none out here.
2 hours later.
So a lot came out because this thing's like crazily twisted up. So I'm just gonna try to be really careful and just dot over that same area that you color corrected with. So once again, when you look down, wherever you see that the dark spots. So basically just right under the eyes. Also, I look crazy. So you're going to take that over that bridge of the nose, right in the middle. You can stop there. That is what most people, I feel like, do on a daily basis. But if you do want to really take your makeup to the next level, then I recommend just, even if you did a dot here, a dot here, and a dot there. It's as simple as that. It'll take you not even a second more. And then once again, you're also going to just blend that out with a brush. A brush will give you the best coverage, or a beauty blender to shear it out. So I'm going to just use the back end that I used for the foundation and go over the chin. And it is just going to lift the chin, bring it forward, and give a little bit of dimension to the face now that you have basically flattened it out with foundation. So then a little bit on the forehead. And this is really going to bring attention to the center of the face. And I'm gonna take the pointy end and just blend out a foundation that is under the eyes. So I really would suggest to focus it on this outer corner because it's going to lift the eye. So it's really gonna help you look awake. So another tip is to just use the same concealer as your eyeshadow primer. So instead of using another eyeshadow primer, just go ahead and use your concealer. So this concealer is going to cover up any of the redness left on the nose that we might not have gotten while doing foundation or anything like that. So you just really want to make sure this is all blended out. And you definitely don't have to use as much concealer since you have already color corrected. Once again, focus that on the outer corners of the eye to really lift the eyes and bring the cheekbones forward. So now that you can see it's a little bit more focused in the middle of the face. I personally really like cream products. If you don't know how to contour and you really want to learn, it is super easy. I'm going to take the Bite Multi-Stick in Blondie. I really love this product. This is one of the higher end products. I want to say it's like 20, I mean it could like also be 30, around there, but it is a really great stick. It looks like this, rolled up. So it is a really great color, so you can use it for the lips. You can contour, which is what I'm gonna do with it. You can put it on the eyes. You could use it as a blush, tap it out. So it's really universal, and they have a ton of shades, so I really do recommend this product if you want something that is high end. So basically, to contour, you're just going to take that, like right about there, and from the ear and out. So basically where you're, if you went, it's gonna be about there. So that's all you need to do to contour the cheeks, and then you can take a little bit above the head, on the forehead. And if you really want to contour the nose, under the lip's gonna give you a little bit of a pout, and you can definitely stop there. So once again, you can blend this out with a brush, or you can use a beauty blender. So you're just going to pounce it out, and this is gonna give you a really nice contour slash bronze. So you could definitely do just this step and stop there, and that's all you need to do. Cream products for contouring, I personally find way easier than powder, but everybody has a preference. So you just want to blend that out until you no longer see it. So why I say this step is necessary is because it is important to add dimension back in your face. Like I said, otherwise you're just going to look flat with just your foundation. So this can be like a 2-in-1 step, so bronzing and contouring. So this will definitely save you even more time. You can definitely use any type of dupe, even a darker foundation if you have, or I know Wet n Wild has some really good cream contouring sticks. Contouring the nose, I wouldn't say it's absolutely necessary, but just giving a little bit of bronzer, you add dimension back to the face, otherwise you will look really flat in the inner region of your face. And then just go over that with the back end. So next, I wanted to do blush, and I have this Bare Minerals Cream Blush Balm in Papaya Passion. It is this super cute coral orange pink. I've been really like obsessed with coral, especially since it's summertime. I'm just going to take the back end of the beauty blender and just get a little bit on it. I have no idea how pigmented this is, so wish me luck. Oh yeah, that's pretty pigmented. So I'm just gonna take whatever's left over onto this cheek instead of going back in. It's actually blending out really well. That's not too bad. Okay, so basically just keep blending it. So this is going to give color back to the face. So once you've added dimension back in, now you want to add your color back in. Now that we finally have all our creams done, it is really important to set it, but before we set the face, I want to go into brows just super quick. I'm going to use the NYX Precision Brow Pencil in Taupe. It kind of has like the color along here. It has a spoolie, I lost the cap. And then it looks like that. I don't know if you can see that. It's just super thin and fine. So you can get some nice hair-like strokes. So I'm just going to brush the brows up, put them in place where I would want them. Fill any sparse areas. For most people nowadays, I feel like filling your brows is almost necessary. For me, I will completely walk out the door without doing my brows. I don't mind. I have a lot of brow hair and I took a while growing them out. So I am not 100% happy with my brows, but pretty close. But I do still have a little couple of sparse spots. But for the sake of this tutorial, I feel like, once again, a lot of people do fill their brows. So I wanted to include this step in there. What I do think is absolutely necessary is brow gel. This is, This is the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. You literally cannot tell because like everything is rubbed off. I've had it so long and it's basically empty. But I didn't have any other brow gel. I think just a clear brow gel is really necessary just to tame the hairs, get them into place. Or a tinted brow gel. I feel like if you're really in a rush, get a tinted brow gel and use that instead of even filling in your brows, because that's going to fill in the sparse spots without actually having to use a pencil. So I wanted to do this. I don't even know what sound that was. So I like to brush mine up and out like that, and that's it for brows. So easy. A really important step if you want your makeup to last all day long, whether you're at work or you're just out running errands, things like that, oily or dry, you really want to set the skin. So with powder, I'm going to take the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in Fair. This is a really, really great drugstore translucent setting powder. So you're just going to take a little bit. So we are setting the face, we are not baking the face. So I think setting is a necessary step in a makeup routine. Baking is not. So you're just going to take that powder and literally go all over the face. So this is also kind of like veiling, just taking the leftover powder, which is going to have a light wash of that powder over like blush or bronzer. So if you go a little too heavy handed or anything like that, it is going to tone down any mistakes you made. So if you're going really quickly, setting after you do everything is a really great step, because it's going to set everything in place and it can tone down any mistakes you made if you were going too quickly. So before I go under the eyes to set, I'm just going to blend it out really quickly, and then I'm just going to dip in lightly and just take that powder and lightly press it under the eyes, over the eyes, and I'm actually going to take it over the brow a little bit. So it is going to make the brow look a little bit more natural, seamless, basically blended in. Once again, go under the other eye. Just sweep that under and over. Creases of the nose. You do not need to go crazy with the powder for your makeup to stay all day. You can definitely make it last with just setting the face. So you can feel your face, see if it feels tacky at all in any spots, and in those spots you can either leave it or you can go over with a little bit more powder. Everything is personal preference. Like I said, setting is a very important step in having your makeup last, and especially making your skin look like skin. Setting spray, I would say, is almost absolute must on every single step, like top 1 to 3 steps that are 100% necessary. So I am just going to take the Too Faced Hangover RX 3-in-1 spray. It is a replenishing primer and setting spray. So I'm just using this one because I'm all out of the Urban Decay All Nighter. But if you really, really, really want your makeup to last like all day long, all night long, I would 100% recommend this one. This one is a great one too because it's multi-purpose. You can prime the skin or you can set the skin. So I'm just going to douse my skin in setting spray basically. So I don't prefer the mist on this one, but it does smell really good. So I'm just going to take that and pat that a little bit. So another step that I don't think is necessary. You can definitely do this step. A lot of people prefer to highlight. So I will be highlighting just slightly with the Catrice Cosmetics Champagne Campaign highlighting powder. The Champagne Campaign is the name. So I'm just gonna take my Real Techniques setting powder brush, I think, setting brush, and just dip into this. This is a really, really subtle highlight. Like, it is not blinding. It's super subtle. So this would be great for anyone who's looking for a highlighter that will not really emphasize texture and isn't going to give them a metallic finish. It's just gonna give a nice subtle highlight. So it's just gonna give a little bit of a glow. Once again, this step is not necessary. I wanted to give the option for anybody who wanted it, basically. So a few more of the high points of the face are, once again, the chin, if you wanted to highlight that, upper lip. I don't highlight the tip of the nose, but I will highlight the bridge to the brow area, I guess, right here, and above the cheeks. I mean, above the brows. The brows are the cheeks of your face, right? Is that the same? Probably not. So last but not least are the eyes. So this is the Morphe E27. I use this in like literally every video. I'm just gonna take Hoola Light bronzer. Literally any bronzer will do, any bronzer you have. I'm just gonna swirl it in there, tap off the excess, and then I'm just gonna go right in to the crease of the eye. So this is just gonna give your eye a little bit of dimension, a little bit of shape, and I'm going to go down basically where the bridge of the nose, or the, I don't know, this starts, your nose. Just gonna go over that, and then go underneath. You can just see the difference between this side and this side. This one just looks a little bit more lifelike, and this one's dead. I'm just going to blend that into this crease, down the side of the nose, and underneath the eye. To really open the eyes and look awake, I am going to be taking the Rimmel Exaggerate in, I think, just nude. Yes, in nude. And I'm going to put this on the bottom waterline. So this is really going to open the eyes, make you look super awake. This is 100% a really important step to elevate your makeup, really make you look awake, fresh, like that. That's literally it. This is super cheap. It's like maybe $5. Now we're gonna take mascara. This is the Voluminous Million Lashes by L'Oreal. This has been my ride or die mascara since like high school. I haven't stopped using it since. It is such a nice brush. It's probably really old though. I'm just being real. It's probably like over the 3-month expiration date, but it still works, okay? So, I mean, it's good. The brush looks like this. I don't think it's supposed to be bent. I think I bent it on accident. But it is a plastic wand, I guess. You know, like one of the plastic ones. I don't really enjoy like bristly brushes. So if you don't like bristly brushes, I mean, if you don't like plastic brushes, don't use this. Kind of smells good, I think. You want to focus on only the outer lashes. So this is really going to lift the eye. Stay, like, probably stop at like your pupil, and then really focus on those outer lashes, making them look longer, and it's really gonna lift the eye. So you can see the difference between this eye and this eye. This one looks up, and this one just is its own thing. So you're gonna do the same on the bottom lashes, and you're gonna focus on the outer corner up until the pupil. So lastly, for the eyes, I'm just gonna take that same Catrice highlighter and use a Morphe G19. It's kind of like a pencil brush, and just dip in there and apply this to the inner corner of the eyes. This is really going to open the eye up. Last but not least is lips. For a look like this every day, I think you can obviously do whatever you want with your lips. Do you? I think just a gloss or a balm is going to look the best. It's just gonna enhance your natural lip. It's gonna look natural, it's gonna hydrate. But if you prefer a lip liner and a lipstick, I just preferably for this look, I feel like it's going to make your lips look fuller. A gloss will always make your lips look fuller than a matte lipstick or anything like that. I know this is like super bougie, but my Dior Creme de Rose lip balm, it just has a little bit of a pink tint. So now I'm gonna apply it. So just simple gloss, that's it. You can reapply on the go, you can bring it to work with you, obviously. Once again, this look is going to be designed for you. I just wanted to show you some tips and tricks to enhance the look that you already do, to make you look more awake, more fresh. Once again, that is it for this look. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful and found some tips that you're gonna try out. Let me know what tips that you thought were absolutely necessary, or tips that you do in your routine that you think are absolutely necessary to really enhance your look or give you the best possible result. So if you like this type of video, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Bye. Wait, is that wrong? Why do I not know what I want to do in my outro? Okay, thank you for watching. Does somebody else do that? Am I stealing someone else's outro? Bye. Huh? Fuck it. Bye. Peace out. Oh, did I not stop it? Oops.